ArieForce One is way more than just any new addition, and I'm here to tell you why. Before I talk about the new for 2023 RMC, I need to fill in a few puzzle pieces to give my thoughts context. Since it opened in 1967, Six Flags Over Georgia has been dominating the amusement market of its state. 23 years after opening, Fun Spot Atlanta would debut just 20 miles south of Over Georgia. Soon after, Wild Adventures opened in the southern regions of Georgia in '96. While the southern park flourished, adding 8 roller coasters up until 2003, Fun Spot continued to operate near Six Flags Over Georgia as a fun family park in the shadows. Even Hurricane Coaster, an E&F Miler thrill coaster built in 2007, could not change their cater towards families. Other than a family coaster edition in 2019, Fun Spot Atlanta continued to focus on entertainment for all ages. This leads us to the now, where ArieForce One is open and giving people true thrills, unlike the previous coaster that meant to do the same thing. Now, a random theme park in the US building only the second ground-up RMC was not just a coincidence. In fact, I don't think it was random at all. Let's look at Twisted Cyclone, an RMC conversion of Georgia Cyclone a little bit up the road. Added in 2018, this coaster has a few punchy and appealing elements, but is definitely not the standout attraction of the Six Flags park. Do you see the point that I'm trying to make here? ArieForce One was not just a random RMC plopped in the middle of nowhere. It must have been a strike on Twisted Cyclone to one-up Six Flags Over Georgia. This leads me to one of 3 theories. My first theory is that after ArieForce One, Fun Spot will expand but continue to go their separate ways with Over Georgia and coexist, not building anything too similar. I call this the King's Dominion effect due to the mutual relationship with that park in Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, not to construct anything that is the same or alike. Wow, that was a lot. Theory number 2 is that Fun Spot will move on and mostly add family-style attractions after that, if not a couple of thrill rides. Finally, theory number 3 is that Fun Spot will expand rapidly like Wild Adventures did its first several years and challenge Six Flags to become the king of the Georgia amusement park market. So let's talk about each theory I've developed. First up is the King's Dominion effect. According to this theory, Fun Spot Atlanta will flourish and expand, but will make an unofficial law with Six Flags to keep away from building very similar rides. I do think that this is the most realistic scenario, but I'll explain my thoughts in a little bit. Additionally, this doesn't mean that there won't be competition, but there will be some mutual ground if this occurs. For example, Fun Spot Atlanta will not build a B&M hypercoaster because of Goliath at Over Georgia. The next theory of mine states that Fun Spot will primarily steer clear of more thrill rides, and Six Flags Over Georgia will reign supreme for longer. The final theory is, in my opinion, the juiciest one. It states that Fun Spot will expand exponentially and take over Six Flags' crown as the king of Georgia amusement parks. This would consist of the small park continuing to mark their spot on the map and give them that A-list status to potentially outpace Over Georgia. This would be very interesting to watch play out, and I honestly hope this happens for the sake of us enthusiasts. Now let's take a look at what theory is most likely to come to fruition. I will rank all 3 of these scenarios based on how probable they are to actually happen. In third place, I have the last scenario. As much as it pains me to say this, I just don't see a way that Fun Spot can outperform Over Georgia like this. If they did it gradually, it could work, but the main setback for this theory is land area. I measured the approximate diagonal length on Google Earth and got about 2,000 feet from the end of ArieForce's plot of land to this red building. That's respectable, but Over Georgia doubles that and then some with a measurement of 4,364 feet from the back of the parking lot to the back of Hurricane Harbor. At number 2, we have the second scenario. I think Fun Spot is more likely to continue primarily as a family-targeted park as opposed to outgrowing its opponent 20 miles up the road, and it's pretty much as simple as that. And the most likely scenario here in my eyes is the King's Dominion effect. There may be some situations in the future where Fun Spot tries to buy the Six Flags property or vice versa. However, both parks will mainly stay away from each other generally or from any similarities in their rides. So that's about it. Thank you all for watching this speculation video, and let me know down below what I should theorize on next. This video took me a while, so a press of that like button would be much appreciated. Signing off for now, this has been Storm, and I'll see you coaster lovers next time.